Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Food Worth Forking. Thank you for being here tonight. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Well, we're at midpoint, almost through the week. So welcome to Food Worth Forking. I am your host, Laura Williams. And if this is your first time watching or listening, welcome. Food Worth Forking is all about food, dating, and lifestyle. So food, all things food, culinary, wine, we talk with chefs and restaurateurs. Dating, we're giving you dating tips, do's and don'ts. What are you doing out here in the dating world? What's going on? And lifestyle, what's happening in the world around us. So, and again, hey, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Hit the like this episode, and ring that bell so you get notifications, so you know what's happening and when I'm putting up new content. And so you will always be in the know. And share it. You share with someone, then they will share with someone, and then they'll share with someone. So you get it. You know how this goes. So let's get into it tonight, shall we? Yeah. So again, it's Wednesday, and actually, we are in almost, probably by the end of this week, we will be halfway through May. Can you believe that? We will be halfway through May. I can't believe it. And if we're halfway through May, that means that we're almost halfway through 2021. So how's that going for you? Are you, meeting your goals? Are you taking it easy on you? I hope so. I hope you are. It's necessary to do it. And if not, well, listen, let me tell you. Tonight's guest may have the perfect place if you need a getaway, for you to get away and enjoy some quiet time if that's what you need, or enjoy the big city life, or if you want to get away with your friends or your family with a small group. Because tonight's guest is Gordon Jackson. He's joined me. Gordon is the owner and operator of Yellow Block Bed and Breakfast in Brooklyn, New York. So listen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Yellow Block Bed and Breakfast, because it is a great, great find. So let's talk about it a little bit, right? Here we go. So, Yellow Block Bed and Breakfast is in Brooklyn, New York. This 9-year-old 5-star rated bed and breakfast has been featured in the 2018 Netflix series Stay Here. So if you haven't heard of Stay Here highlights homes and properties that get a facelift or need renovations to be showcased as one of the top places to stay or vacation on such sites as Airbnbs and HomeAway and many others. Gordon, let's see here. Hold on. Yes, Gordon takes pride in the history of where Yellow Block resides, which is in Bed-Stuy of Brooklyn, New York. He works hard to keep the pricing affordable for the working class to rent this beautiful brownstone gym in Brooklyn, New York that houses 14 to 15 guests a night, like hostel style. Bed-Stuy is a working class community, and we want working class folks from all over the world to come back and enjoy it, Gordon says. All he wants is to fill the rooms on more nights to fund education for his 3 sons. Gordon has utilized his work experience through his high school and college years, working in the hotel industry to create Yellow Block Bed and Breakfast. Gordon will open his second Yellow Block Bed and Breakfast in Washington, D.C. this summer. So that is pretty awesome. Outside of Yellow Block, Gordon is a frequent speaker at faith-based functions, schools, and career-related events. As a father of three sons, he also coaches wrestling for Teaneck Youth Wrestling in New Jersey, as well as American Youth Wrestling in Brooklyn, New York. Gordon resides in Brooklyn, New York, and he is the proud father of three sons, Cairo, Caleb, and Caden. Yes, Caden. So everyone, let's get started and let us welcome. Let us welcome. Oh, it's Gordy. I'm being formal with the Gordon, but it's Gordy Jackson. And here we go. Hold on here.
Hello, how
Hey,
you doing, Laura? How's it going? Thank you for
good.
the
How
nice
are you?
introduction. I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Welcome to Food Worth Forking.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on the show, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So listen, with that introduction, we're going to start off a little light this evening. It's
Okay.
a little light. So I'm just going to ask you, this is how we start. We do like fire round of questions.
Sure, let's go. I'm
And
ready.
it's fun. Loosen up and get ready for this great show tonight. So, all right, first question. First up is, when are you most inspired?
I think I'm probably most inspired when my back is against the wall, and
Hmm,
I'm trying to figure something out. I operate better under pressure, so I think my inspiration draws when I'm uncomfortable,
okay.
not always when I'm comfortable.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Good. The pressure. Pressure.
pressure, right.
What is one thing you still have from your childhood?
One thing I'd say my relationships with my brothers and sisters,
Nice.
we're all very close. So, yeah, I mean, some of the things, we moved around a little bit. So I think some things, physical, tangible things, uh, we weren't always able to hold on to, but we held on to our relationships with each other. We stayed close. So,
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. First celebrity crush.
oh, and photographs that my mother left us too. We still have those. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Okay. All right. First celebrity crush.
Let me think. Good question. I'll be honest. Uh, when I see celebrities on TV, I'm always, they're beautiful. They all look nice. But I tend to find my crushes are with real people that I've met.
Okay.
So it's hard for me to visualize somebody through a movie because they're acting, or somebody on TV, and try to get a grasp of who they are. So
Okay.
I've never been asked that question before. So I couldn't even come up with one person that I see on TV, or an artist who I'm like, she would be dope, because I've never met her before. So it's hard for me to make that tangible connection other than her physical. But so that doesn't do it for me. I want to sit and talk to you, and figure out who you are. So I don't crush on any celebrities. Not that they're not crushable, because they're all, many of them are beautiful, but I've never sat with any of them. So it's hard for me to make that judgment.
Okay.
That's being honest. Yeah.
In person, real people. That's
Yeah.
what it's about.
Yeah. Would want to feel her vibe out. How does she conduct herself? Like, is she polite to people? Is she kind? Is she humble? What's her etiquette like? Because it's hard to gauge that when people are acting. And most of the time when we see celebrities, they're the persona is done with the intent to tell us a message, right? They're trying to sell us on a brand, or on a label, or on a song, or on the music. So it's hard to figure out if it's the real. And I'm sure they're far more beautiful than we get to find out, right? But
Mhm.
because the media only takes them for those tenth of a second, based on what they want to tell us about them, we don't really get a chance to appreciate them. So I'm gonna say I love all the celebrities, but I can't say that I sit up at night. I mean, honest, sit up at night thinking
Well,
about any
no,
one of them, right?
we
Nobody's hanging up. I don't have a poster, like a jet poster, hanging up on my on my wall with any of them. It's not happening. Not happening. To be honest, I say it humbly, but no.
hey, that works.
Right.
That works. Okay. All right. So pie or cake?
Pie or cake? Pie. Apple pie.
Apple pie. All
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Okay. Last meal on earth. What are you eating and where are you eating it?
My last meal on earth, I want to eat it with my kids, and it'll
Nice.
probably be whatever they would want to eat. They like, right now they like cheeseburgers. So If it's my last meal, I'd want to have it with them, and they
Oh,
like cheeseburgers, so I guess they get what they want. And I would, I would have some, that day we would have cheeseburgers because that's what they want. And if it's for me, it's my
cheeseburger.
last meal. I would still be cheeseburgers because if that's the last time they have to remember me, they had to have something they like to eat. So yeah,
Oh, that's great. That's
yeah.
great. Okay, window or aisle seat?
Window,
Window.
because I like to sleep and I can put my pillow or my neck pillow to the window and sleep. If you're in an aisle seat, you keep going back and forth and you can't really
In,
sleep.
indeed,
Right.
indeed,
Me
indeed.
and my son go back and forth with this all the time. And I'm like, you can look at the window. We fly, if I fly with one of the fellas, I'm like, well, you can take the window until we take off. Then we have to switch because I want to rest on the plane. And then he'll say, okay, fine, and they'll switch with me. So we have a drill mapped out that they get to watch the plane take off, and then we switch seats. So definitely window.
Okay, it's all about the window. Okay, so cooking, like cooking or
Yeah.
baking.
Cooking. Before
Cooking.
baking, but now cooking. Because I like to cook now with more like olive oils and stuff like that. I like a sauce. I like gravy. And I find when I
Mm,
bake, I don't always get that. And then sometimes, like when you cook on the stove, you can change and alter the menu a little bit. But when you bake, once you put it in the oven, you kind of have to
that's
wait
it.
the 30 minutes or an hour or two and figure out what you get. So if you want to still be creative and add a little thyme, or you want to add a little more pepper, a little more garlic, then you can do that when you cook. When you bake, it feels a little more hazardous because you got to open the oven and slide it out. So I like cooking.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Last question. Who is your hero or shero?
My mother. Hands down. My mother is my hero, my shero. She was principled. She passed, but she was principled. She had integrity. Um, she didn't put pressure, uh, other than having taught us what we needed to know. So I always, whenever I reference her, I'm in a tough spot. I'm like, well, what would she do that would have given me the best advice? And I feel like she did that. So she's definitely my shero.
Awesome. 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 See, that was easy.
Very good questions, though. Thank you.
That was easy. Great. So, Gordy, let's get started. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Yellow Block. So, Yellow Block is in the heart of Bed-Stuy. It is down the street from like a landmark, a mural of Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. It's a popular area. How did you find this property? I guess how did you find the property? Why did you choose it, and why a bed and breakfast?
Yeah, so I bought the house I found the property in 2000, which Brooklyn then was very different than it is right now. Um,
Mm-hmm. It
and
is.
yeah, back then you could buy a house in Brooklyn for $150,000, $180,000. It was a prime time to buy, but that was a lot of money. That's still a lot of money, and that was a lot of money back then.
Then
Um, so I had a friend, a frat brother of mine, who had bought a house a few blocks away, and I had never bought a house. I had never, obviously never purchased a house. I was 29 years old, and I saw what he was doing with his house. He was so into it. I'm like, I have to do, because he's like a big brother. So I've always, he did something. I was like, let me figure out how to do that too. So I found one house in Brooklyn, then found another house in Brooklyn, and both of the deals fell through. They were a lot cheaper. And then I found someone had called me and said there's a house on Quincy Street. Go look at it. So I came over here on the block. I looked at it. The block was not like it is now. It was a little bit different.
mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, I'll take it. I hadn't even go inside. There was like a chain lock on the door because I had been rejected from two other deals. So I was like, well, I'll take this one. If they'll say yeah, I'll say yeah. It's not my money anyway because I'm getting it from the bank. So I had about $9,000 saved up that I had from an old tax return, that I had from my last tax return. So I had $9,000. And they said, well, you got to put down 3%, and the house was $300,000. I said, well, take the 9,000. If you give me the other 291,000, I guess we have a deal. Because I'm like, what are you gonna, I didn't know. So they was like, we'll loan you the money. And then I went with a bank and a broker who were a little bit at the time, probably what we would call today, predatorish or questionable. But I'm thinking to myself, they're about to loan me $300,000 for a house, and I only have 9,000. They're on my team. We can make this work. So I don't know if it was as much that I had looked on Quincy Street or looked in Bed-Stuy versus Crown Heights versus Brownsville versus the Bronx or versus Manhattan versus this was the house that they found and they were willing to finance it. Because I was a little, it didn't really matter to me where the house was. at that
Mm-hmm.
point, because I had never had one, so I didn't have anything to compare it to make me say I wouldn't do that. And I think sometimes we get nervous. Oh, I don't like that neighborhood. I don't like that block. But I think, at least with this, I had to just kind of jump into it feet first and figure out as I went, and that's what I did.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But why did you then you have this property, but why did you choose? Have you always wanted a bed and breakfast, or this was just you were like, you know what, let me try
No,
it?
it's funny. I had to process this yesterday, and no, I'm gonna be. I never came into it to start a bed and breakfast. I bought the house. I had broken it up into apartments. I had rented rooms. I was doing everything I could to make that mortgage payment. So at the time,
Gotcha.
the mortgage was like $2,600 a month. I would have rented. I would have made this into a dog shelter if the money was right. It didn't matter to me. I mean, I want to be completely transparent, and the reason
Yeah.
why I'm going there was to let people know. That things kind of evolved that way, but I'm not sure that was my intent. So I had rented rooms, I had rented apartments, I had rented a duplex. Fortunately, my brother came and moved in with his wife and his kids, and they rented the two top floors. I had rented the basement at one point. And then we split it up from 2001 when we closed up until 2007. I had tried about 6 different experiments with rentals, all of which allowed me to pay the mortgage.
Okay.
And I had renovated it floor by floor. And I'm grateful if any of my old tenants at the time are listening. I thank all of them because without them paying me that rent, whether it was late or whether it was a few days late, without them paying my rent, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today because they made it possible for me to get to the point where this concept of yellow block evolved. So I'll speed up to 2007, hit a pretty major life event, started going through a divorce, and had to kind of do some things to prepare for that financially. And I had
Mm-hmm.
this house, but I wasn't living here at the time. So speed up to 2009. The divorce took a while. Now it's almost 2010. And it's getting a little bit expensive. And then, if for folks who've been through a divorce, you have to split and divide some assets. The kids are involved. There's a lot of variables at play. And I said, well, damn, I can't go back to renting out apartments because I know that fixed amount of money every month isn't going to be enough for me to satisfy the obligations I had to my family now that we're taking these different directions. So I wanted to be able to do for my family what I was doing before, really more, and still be able to take care of myself, independent, because now we're 2 separate households. So the
Okay.
worst of that situation created me again under pressure to have the necessity to come up with something. So I was like, you
Okay.
know what? I'm not going to rent apartments for a month. I'm going to try to rent rooms out for days. And I put it on Craigslist. This is before Airbnb. And a
Yep.
woman reached out from Florida, and she was like, I'll rent for you for 27 or 28 days. I'm coming to New York City to have twin babies. And I think I charged her $30 a night. So it was quick math. I did 30 times 27. I said, that's about $850. I'm renting apartments at the time for like $1,100 or $1,200 for half the floor. So I
Oh.
said, well, wait, now I'm up to 1,700 for one floor. And that number can grow. So I rented her one room in the front on the ground level at the time. She paid me the 900. The twins had to stay for an extra week because there was some slight challenges with them at birth. And she stayed another week, and that was like another $180. And I'm like, wait, I'm seeing this money quicker than I would rent. At that point, I knew I had something. So then I renovated another room and then another room. And prior to this, I had a company called Yellow Block Construction. And I said, well, I'm going to call the house Yellow Block. Yellow Block worked before. I'm going to stick with that because my son had a little yellow toy when he was little, my first son. So everything I did, I always called it Yellow Block. And that was it. So then at the time I had I still had 3 tenants living here. As each tenant moved out, I moved up and took their floor and expanded what would be this evolving room rental bed and breakfast business.
Mm.
So this is now 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. Hitting some rough spots. I'm buying beds as people move out. I'm asking people to leave the old furniture so I can use it. I'm buying beds at IKEA the morning people are coming to set up for that night because it's each person. When someone moved out of one of my apartments that were on one of the higher floors, I turned their space into a B&B that night because then I would up my occupancy on Airbnb to say instead of taking 6, now I can take 9 because I had another room. It was that quick.
Okay.
And people were great. The guests that came in were all dope. They came in, all they wanted was hot water, beds, clean sheets, and a little something to eat. They didn't ask for much. And Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi always mattered. So it's not until I went back through the photographs of the house that I got to really see the evolution of how far it came to get to where it's at, to what folks saw on Netflix and stuff like that. So to summarize without talking too much, I never intended to make a bed and breakfast. It was survival, and God kind of directed my steps and made it possible for me to create this space that people could come stay in, which was like a short stay versus longer rentals. Yeah.
Awesome. And with that, you've created this niche, because not a lot of places can house, large parties like that. So if people are traveling in large groups or families, or even, and it may not necessarily need to be, 14 or 15 people, but even 10 or 8 comfortably,
Right.
it's just a wonderful option. They're few, so it just really works.
Yeah, that was the best part. Was I grew up in a large family. There was 6 of us, and my mother did not have a lot of money. But we never felt like we didn't have, and we didn't get to go on a lot of vacations when we were younger. Later when I got a little older, my mother remarried. We got to go to like Boston and stuff like that. But we never really went on vacations. And I said I want to create a space that a family can come to, that they can realistically save. We know that folks who live in the Midwest and folks who live in the South and folks who live in other parts of the country, because of minimum wage and because of what folks earn, folks live very comfortably and live very well, but the price point in New York City can be very high. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for someone to conceive vacation in here. And that shouldn't be the case. There's no reason why kids across the world should look at movies about New York City and that not be tangible to them because of cost. And if there was a way that I could mitigate that, I wanted to make sure that I created a space that people could come to and cost wouldn't be a barrier. And I never wanted my price to be beyond what I could have afforded, my mother could have afforded when we were younger. And relatively speaking, the dollar value was different. But people work hard, man, and they should be able to save for a vacation and do things with their kids. If they want to drive 10 hours and show them a city, there should be no part of the United States that should not be possible. But we've allowed that to happen because of cost and economics, and I didn't want that to be a barrier of coming into New York. And then the other piece of it was I wanted to make sure that people knew I'm a Black man in Brooklyn, New York, and I wanted the people to know from all over the world that we do business with integrity, we do business fairly, and that you will come here and get a quality stay at an affordable rate, and it doesn't have to be something that somebody's trying to hustle you with or something like that. And I think we've been able to do that over the years.
That's awesome. That's great. What do you, you've been doing this for a while now. And so, of course, it has evolved and there's been transitions. So today, what do you think is the thing that makes Yellow Block special? We know that it's a great place, and we know that, the niche is, housing 14 up to 15 people. But what makes it special?
I think what makes it special is the neighborhood, is the serenity of it when you come in. Like now I'm sitting you guys can't see because a little reflection, but I'm sitting like in the garden in the back. There's a certain quietness and stillness to Bed-Stuy as dust settles and gets a little late at night. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like any other city. This is still Brooklyn. Things can still happen. I don't want to give you the impression that, a deer's going to run by like it would someplace else.
Yeah.
But, there's a certain calmness to it. And there's a sense of neighborhood. There's a sense of familiarity. No matter where you come from in the world, no matter where you come from in the United States, you can come into Brooklyn, you come on this block right now, you'll feel like you're part of something. When you step into the doorway of this house, you'll feel safe. It's very, obviously it's clean. I don't think we need to talk much about cleanliness, but I think we've really put a lot of effort into making sure that, and it's not delicate. It's not a delicate, fragile house, right? You can come with the kids and they can spill something. It's okay if you want to dance, and there's not a lot of rules and restrictions about feeling at home here. And I think that makes it special because the neighbors are good. The neighbors have been great. And I think the neighborhood has been receptive and has appreciated the diversity and has appreciated the guests who have come here, because it's really a chance for, sometimes we learn more from people when they travel to us than when we go to them. We learn the etiquette.
Indeed.
yeah, so I think that that's been what makes the house special. And it's in Brooklyn.
Indeed.
And Brooklyn is dope. Brooklyn is wonderful. The block is wonderful. Bed-Stuy is wonderful. New York City is wonderful. And with all we've been through, we're resilient. This city
Indeed.
is like no other. It bounces back. So no matter what New York goes to, no matter where you move from, I moved here as a young adult. No matter where you come from, if you come into this city hungry and you come into this city, uh, ready, then you will enjoy it. And I'm happy that this house is part of that.
Awesome. Well, you have something else that's kind of special that was kind of created that happened at the house. So tell us about these yellow block bagels.
Yeah, so the bagels, I mean, the food is a huge part of the house. And we can't be thankful enough to the bagel shop who partnered with Netflix when we did the show. And they were so kind to create this gourmet bagel, this yellow block bagel, that we can call when guests come in to bring these bagels in for guests. So the bagels are beautiful. They also are known for their rainbow bagel. So if you're ever in Brooklyn, New York, I want you to definitely look them up on Instagram, the bagel shop. They do a phenomenal job. They do custom bagels. They were kind enough to create this bagel for us. And we couldn't say thank you enough to them for the yellow block bagel.
I feel like I need to get a yellow block bagel.
Absolutely, dude. They're
I need to get a yellow
delicious.
block bagel. So tell us a little, I have a couple of screenshots here of
Sure.
the bed and breakfast. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so that's a mural that's on the ground level of the house that they were able to put up for folks to be able to identify, what they thought were some of the top 5 locations. What were the top places to dine, top places for lunches, top places for breakfast. And as guests come in, that image or that list kind of changes, right? Because one of the beauties in New York is restaurants open, restaurants closed, and people find little hot spots as they go as options to dine in. So that list kind of is an indicator for guests as they come in as what might be a cool spot to eat.
That's all. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It was just such a great touch addition. It was great. So you've been doing this again for a while. What do you think? What would you say? Today it's 2021. What has been your biggest lesson, you think, on this journey?
My biggest lesson on this journey is to listen to guests. Um, Sometimes you learn the most from guests from what they leave behind.
Mhm.
From the garbage they leave and how they leave the place and the condition they leave things in, and not to judge people, not to gauge people. Um, I've learned a lot about people from all over the world, and it's taught me to show more compassion, to show more appreciation, and it's broken down barriers of what you think you understand about people and what you don't. Um,
Yeah,
I wish everyone had an opportunity to do something like this because it's really been uh, a very learned experience for me to learn about people and to learn about people from other countries. In some cases, I haven't been able to visit those places, but I feel like I have because I've met so many people from all parts of the world. People at one point were bringing me a flag from everywhere in the world that people they
mm,
had come from until it got to the point we had so many flags we couldn't put up anymore. I've met West
nice.
Point cadets. I've met folks from countries I've never heard of. I've met people with interesting jobs. I've met engineers. I've met actors. I've met technicians. I've met Boy Scouts. I've met Girl Scouts. I've met church groups. I've met monks. I've met you name it. They have been here, and that's very humbling that they trusted us to make sure that they would be well when they came into New York. So to everybody who's ever come, we appreciate. So that's what I've learned. I learned about people, and then my sons got to learn, right? Because they're like more vast. I had one point I had a group coming from France they would tell me about 5 groups a year. And I had my son at the time, he was like 13 or 14. I put him in with the groups and he was like the youth chaperone. So here's my son at 13 hanging out with 26 French kids who so he had a whole cultural immersion for a summer, meeting young people from France who were just like him. And these were people that looked like him, who had similar socioeconomic backgrounds and challenges, but who were from France. And they weren't all from Paris, right? I think we assume everybody comes
Mm-hmm.
from Paris.
Yeah.
Some were
Yeah.
from small towns, some were from rural towns. Their parents had saved for 2 or 3 years for them to make this trip. And it wasn't a situation where every kid had a silver spoon in their mouth. Some of these kids had real stories just like we do. And he was able to spend time with them. And he's very humble, and it made him even better. So it was good.
Yeah, that's such a great experience. Such a great experience. And so you also, outside of Yellow Block, you are very passionate about the youth and giving back. Is that something that you've always wanted to do, or was it sparked by something and then you decided, what, this is what I'm going to do? Has that always been, part of
Yeah, I
your
think
path?
I've always had an interest in, just from early college on, just recognizing and not forgetting the path that the journey that allowed me to get to college.
Hmm.
I was first. We were first generation college. My brothers and sisters and I. We knew what that meant for us. And coming into college at 17, going on 18, I was fortunate to go to SUNY New Paltz in upstate New York, and I was a Black Studies minor, and I was taught about culture and history and the importance of giving back and the importance of reaching back to make sure that we can create opportunities and equity, and that diversity and inclusion would make things better, right? And I always wanted to make sure that our young people understood that. Our young people who are black and white and brown and yellow and red and every other color under the stream, that we understood that our young people could change the world, that because we know things weren't so great 40 or 50 years ago, but that things could be better 40 years later. And that would happen with our youth. Because sometimes now that I'm older, I consider myself a lot older as I approach 50, we can sometimes be set in our ways and lose hope that things can change. And our young people don't believe that, right?
Hmm.
So I knew that by interacting with them and sharing with them a path that I thought would be a possible path, that they could help change and bring us to where we're at today. And I think we are in a better place today. I think we have a lot of work to do, but I believe it will be our young people's courage and our older folks like me, our wisdom, maybe together can drive that change. So that's what, and then I have young sons, right? So if I don't stay connected with young people, I can't hang out with them. I got to know when
Indeed.
they're texting me. So they're 18, 13, and 8,
Indeed.
and they're quick. So I want to know everything they're doing. They're my best friends. I want to hang out with them even when they don't want me to hang out. And I need to know what they're doing so that I can be a better parent. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Gordy, thank you so much for sharing your story
No problem.
and sharing with us. Yellow Block, one, it's an awesome journey that you've had, not even planned,
No.
not even planned, and just where it can go. So I'm going to get into some of these comments here. And Sharon says, "What an awesome testimony! It really is. It's such a great story." Jay said, "Jay said that's awesome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is. It really is." So, listen, I'm about to get into some delicious bites. You hanging
Yeah, let's go. Let's get to the food. I'm in. Let's go.
out? Okay. Let's get into it. So, listen, Delicious Bites is our next segment up, ladies and gentlemen. And Delicious Bites is just something that I've discovered during this week. What have I discovered that I really like? And I want to talk about Ethiopian food. This week, this was my second time having Ethiopian food. And it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Right now, I am in Ohio, and I went to this place, and this whole a friend of mine was schooling me on this platter. So this restaurant is called Lely Bella, Lely Bella in Columbus, Ohio, Ethiopian food. And this platter, this dish is called, I believe it's pronounced ma ma brooch, ma brooch. I'm saying it wrong. I know I am. But what it is spicy beef with a variety of vegetables, and it's laying on a bread, Ethiopian bread called injera, and it is absolutely delicious. It was absolutely delicious. So my find this week was Ethiopian food. I will be trying it again, and That's what's yes, Jason, it was. It was very yummy. It's my first time having it. So I was with it. I was with it. Yeah.
Delicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we're about to get into in between the bites. So listen, in between the bites is what's happening out here in this world of ours. And I'm going to talk about two things. We have it's graduation season. We have folks graduating from college and high school. And so if you are, please know that Krispy Kreme is gifting sweets to 2021 graduating seniors. This week, May 10th through the 16th, the beloved donut shop will have the 2021 graduation dozen available for purchase. But tomorrow, May 13th, high school and college seniors can get 1 dozen of these 2021 graduate donuts for free. For free. And how do you get it for free? You have to go and wear your cap and gown,
Sorry.
and or you have to what else do you have to do here? Yeah, wear your cap and gown. If you have a an announcement with your name on it, make sure you take your ID. But please know you can go to Krispy Kreme and get yourself some of these donuts that they create. And I think this is Krispy Kreme's second. It's either their second or third year doing it, so it's pretty cool. So, but it's tomorrow only. Otherwise, if you go get it, you got to pay for them. Pay for them. Yes. And also, if you have, listen, if you've been watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, many of you know that mm, it's, I have an affection for Chick-fil-A. I do. It is what it is, and I do. So, news is that Chick-fil-A, the supply chain, there is a supply chain shortage of sauces. So Chick-fil-A is about to limit the number of sauces that it gives out to customers because for some reason they're low on stock. The chicken chain said this today, Wednesday, that industry-wide supply chain, they're having these issues, which are affecting essentially every aspect of the economy and has resulted in a shortage of select items that Chick-fil-A serves, and this includes the sauces. So in response, Chick-fil-A is only giving one dipping sauce per item ordered at many of its 2,600 US restaurants. Chick-fil-A quote, "We are actively working to make adjustments to solve this issue quickly and apologize to our guests for any inconvenience," the company said in a statement. The chain said it's working to fix the sauce supply problems as quickly as possible. Um, that's um that's quite interesting. That's a new one for me. What are you guys saying out here? Yes, Jason, it is funny. It is funny, but it's a real thing. Because I'm like, really? Sauces? That's what we're doing? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if
They
everybody's
say it
been
ain't
eating
so.
out more.
What'd you say?
Maybe everybody's been eating out more since the pandemic, and people are probably taking more stuff home probably than they were before. They're
I
probably
was
they're
like,
probably making recipes with this.
well, you know what? That that could be true.
Right.
I wouldn't put it past anybody or anything. That could be true. But I thought that
It
was
was like
quite
my
funny.
mother. The people probably frying chicken at home and giving their kids that sauce to say, listen, because like we wanted to go to McDonald's when we were little. Your mother said, "I'm going to make you a burger." Now people are
I'm going to
making
make
stuff
it.
Chick-fil-A. That's right.
Gonna make it. Gonna make it. And that Chick-fil-A sauce is pretty good.
Yeah, special.
It is pretty good. And also know if you are traveling, listen, don't you know what, Sharon? Yes, don't sleep on the signature Chick-fil-A sauce. You better not,
That's
because
right.
I always get extra, but clearly now I won't be because they're like you can only get one. So that's quite funny to me. That was funny. Another thing is, listen, we're having this gas issue, and people are going into a panic. And it is a real thing, so much so that airlines are starting to, as of today, are starting to, any direct flights, especially I think the airline I saw was on American Airlines, any direct flights are now turning into connecting flights so that they can fuel up in different locations. So they're not, taking gas, I guess, from one state, all of it from one state to fuel up the planes. They're breaking it up. So hopefully this will not, you know, turn into a crazy crisis, but please note, if you are traveling, pay attention because your direct flight may very well turn into a connecting flight very soon. So check your flights if you're traveling, folks, if you're traveling. So you all know what time it is. You all know what time it is. It is time for smash or pass. Yeah. Gordy, I don't know if you're aware of smash or pass,
Yeah, teach me.
but smash or pass. We're about to find out what foods, what dishes you will smash,
Okay.
or what dishes you will pass.
I'm ready.
Yep. Jason said, let's go. Hey, Berna. Berna said, yes, we're about to get into this. So here we go. First up, first up is this is fried chicken Alfredo taco. Listen, we have Alfredo noodles folded in a fried chicken, topped with black pepper. Are you smashing? Are you passing?
Smash it. Looks delicious. Great
Really?
job. Yes. Excellent.
Wow.
Excellent choice.
Wow. Okay. But Jason, I'm assuming you are into. Oh yeah, he said he smashed. Okay.
All right. Good, Jason.
Yeah. Okay. And then, all right, Verna, I'm not sure what that is, but I'm assuming that looks like two hearts. So I'm thinking you like it, and that means you will. Oh, she's passing. She said, "Oh, I'm passing." Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I think more smashing than passing. So,
It's a go.
yep. Don't pass go. Go straight to the ER. Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Wanda says smash. Okay, so I think folks are like, we gonna smash. All right, okay, that's a smash. It's a smash.
Smash.
All right, and so next up is this lovely beverage. Now, this is a little interesting. So this is a this is a whiskey sour, but this is a vegan whiskey sour. So what makes it vegan is, there's whiskey or bourbon, depending. Um, but traditionally, it's, whiskey sours include whipped egg whites. But this one, because it's vegan, this is a whipped chickpea brine. So that whip is not egg whites, it's chickpea brine. Are we smashing or are we passing?
I mean, listen. If I wanted to have a drink, I'm gonna smash it. For folks who are that sensitive with their diets, I get it. But I'm gonna smash it because at the end of the day, under the grind is the is a drink. So
Is the drink.
if I want to have a cocktail, I'm gonna smash it. I probably wouldn't limit it based on the chickpeas. And chickpeas aren't bad. I
Mhm.
like chickpeas anyway. So smash.
I just think it's interesting that that someone, took chickpeas and said, "Hey, we're gonna brine it.
That's right.
Whiskey, that's all. Got you, got you." Let's see here. Christopher says vegan whiskey sour with chickpea brine. I'd smash. Okay, all right, Chris. Okay. What else? Wanda says, "Why not smash? Why not?" Okay. Burner is clearly a hard pass. It's a hard pass there. And Jay, Just like I'll smash. Get it. Got it. Okay, y'all. All right for that one. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, wait a second. Wait, where is it? Where we go here? Now this one is video.
Okay, so you put the string cheese into these little pasta holes here. Okay, I'm gonna put sauce all over the whole thing. Okay, make sure it's nice and saucy. Good, yep. Then we're gonna put meat if you want. You don't have to have meat, obviously. Looks good, right?
Yeah, it looks
So good. More cheese. Right on top. You just spread that out. We're gonna pop it into the oven. Watch this.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the moment of truth.
Look at that.
Yum. Honeycomb pasta. So good.
Okay. Are we smashing or passing?
Smash. Smash. She put a lot of work into that. Come on. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's spaghetti. It's pasta, spaghetti, cheese. She just did it a different way.
She did. I was like, what? I just feel folks are out here trying so hard. They're trying so hard with these recipes. But I'm like, hold on here. Jason says pass. Okay. Okay. All right. Wanda said it's lasagna.
That's it.
Smash. Okay. Okay. Sharon says, pass your hands on food. Yeah. Yes. Smash. Okay. We got a smash, Roberta. All right. And yeah, Christopher said, yes, Chris, that's different. It is different. But I will have to say, when it came out of the oven, it did look good. I mean, it did. I was like, oh, I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, not bad. Not sure if I'd smash, but not bad. But I guess I tried.
Sure.
I think it's the whole thing, the hands, like the hands touching everything. No, it kind of weirded me out a little bit. But yeah.
I'm assuming we're the ones preparing it, right? You know, like if this is a dish we
I mean, it is. But I think it was because it's true. But I think her hands, I was like, your hands? Like, but I guess if maybe I do the same thing.
We don't know what happens in most restaurants, right? This is
You
what's going on before it
are
comes out anyway. Who we kidding, right?
You are
Hands
correct.
all over this stuff. Right.
You are correct. I have worked in a restaurant before, so I have seen, so I know. I'm always like, Lord bless this food.
That's right.
Cover it. Please cover it. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. So she's like with it, the drinks, the food. Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I get it. No hands. Yeah. I think it's, but the no hands though, I think the thing is, if we were doing it, which is a point, what would I do? I don't know. I just don't want to see it, I guess. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't think I want to see it. So, so that's it for Smash or Pass, folks.
Thank you.
Like, that's what we have for this evening. That's what we have.
Thank you.
What'd you say?
So that was fun. I smashed everything, as you can see. I love food.
Yes.
I love food. So
yes. You. And that is a great thing.
And to all the chefs, thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Yes, that is a great thing. So listen, we are at the end. We're at the end of the podcast. We're at the end of the show. So tell everyone where and how they can find you.
So thank you so much. You can find us, Google us, yellowblockbnb.com. We're on Instagram at yellowblockbnb. And it says contact us, and we'll get the message. I'll get the message immediately. I love to make it sound like it's a big, sophisticated operation, but it goes right to my iPhone, and we reply in real time. We any booking inquiries or just any general information about New York, about Brooklyn, if I can be helpful and provide it, we're too happy to do it. Whether you stay here, whether you don't stay here, if you want to know what New York looks like on the ground right now, you're more than welcome to reach out with any questions. And thank you to the show. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Laura, for creating the platform. And we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's see. I think there's a few. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, please check out the website. Please check out the website. Another great show. And yes, another awesome black Nora. Absolutely. So listen, if you have, again, please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think I've covered them all at Food Worth Forking. And listen, this is it. Jason said, I'm adding you to IG now. That's right. Make it happen. Make it
Thank you.
happen.
Thank you.
So I just want to thank everyone for being here. Gordy, please hang out for a second. This is what it looks like. It's a great place. Hey, thank you everybody for watching and listening. And until we eat again, make it food worth forking. Have a good night, everyone.